So I have a couple of verses from collected works, and it's from the occasional verses section. And one of them has to do with sleep while awake. Yeah, page 119. It says, deep sleep can e'er be had while wide awake by search for self. In dream and waking states, pursue the quest for self without a break, so long as sleep's ignorance them permeates. Deep sleep can e'er be had while wide awake by search for self. In dream and waking states, pursue the quest for self without a break, so long as sleep's ignorance them permeates. So this one is clearer. The verse on liberation in the previous page, I didn't quite understand the analogy. So it says here, and I'd love your insights into that, Tom. The dove escaping from the hunter's hand escapes too from the forest, it is said. When the hunter hunting for the eye gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home. The dove, escaping from the hunter's hand, escapes too from the forest, it is said. When the hunter hunting for the eye gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you so much for reading these verses. Let me look them up myself. And we will see. There's a teaching that I can give you, or an explanation I can give you. Occasional verses. Okay.
So sleep while awake on 119, and liberation on 118.
Yeah, I've got a different version today from you. I can see I'm reading from this version today, and you've got that. It's the same text, I believe, but it's different page numbers. So read your page numbers again, Suresh.
Sleep while awake is on page 119, and liberation on page 118.
Right. And on this version, if anyone has this version, it's page 149 and 148. So on the contents, if you look at occasional verses, and then there's a verse called Sleep While Awake, and there's a verse called Liberation. I'm not sure what the liberation verse means. And the last word is home, H-O-M-E, home.
Right.
Because when you read it, I wasn't sure if that's what I was hearing or not. The dove escaping from the hunter's hand escapes too from the forest, it is said. When the hunter hunting from the eye gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home. So the last sentence, I think there must be some background to this verse with the dove and the hunter in a forest that I'm just not aware of. Maybe there's a story about this, or there's a relatively well-known metaphor that I'm just not aware of. But so the two sentences. The second sentence, when the hunter hunting for the eye, and I is the I as in I am, first person, gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home. What this makes me think of is that how the whole world becomes our home with liberation. Before liberation, some parts of the world may be something that we're afraid of. It might provoke anxiety or depression, stress, fear, etc., etc. It represents, the world may represent not only good things, but bad things and things we should be afraid of. So many of us are afraid of life, actually. And maybe the forest here, the hunter in the forest, you see, the forest is the hunter's world, perhaps. So what this last sentence reminds me of, I don't know if this is the correct interpretation or not. But when he says, when the hunter hunting from the eye gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home, meaning the forest becomes your home. There's no fear anymore. Everything is yourself. So that's what that last sentence says to me. The first sentence, the dove escaping from the hunter's hand escapes too from the forest, it is said. Again, I don't know what this means, but what comes to me when I hear this line is that the hunter is a person. The dove is a white bird, often represents freedom. So when the dove or you escapes the hunter, the ego, the person, you also escape the forest, which represents, I think, the world. See, when the hunter lets go of when the dove escapes from the hunter's hand, I can imagine a dove in a hunter, maybe the hunter is holding a dove like this in his hands, and the dove escapes, and it doesn't just escape from the body-mind, the hunter, but it also escapes from the world. So the dove, through just escaping from the hunter, which is the I am, the ego, you actually attain full liberation from everything. Because you could think, well, if you escape from the hunter, you've got all these other problems that you've got to deal with now. Okay, you've solved one problem, egotism, but there are a load of other problems you've now got to solve. Whereas my interpretation of this verse is, the dove escaping from the hunter's hand escapes too from the forest, it is said. Meaning, you do self-inquiry through breaking the I am, or the ego, or the idea I'm the body-mind. You break everything. All bondage is broken. All suffering is broken. And you attain liberation from everything. So if you have a necklace with 99 beads on it, I don't know why I said 99. 99 beads. Sounds good, 99. Rather than having to solve each bead maybe represents a hurdle in life, something in life that you have to deal with. Rather than dealing with all these beads one by one, you cut the string. And the whole thing collapses. And this is the necklace of bondage, of suffering, of illusion, of Maya, of ignorance. So all you have to do is escape from the hunter's hand, and then you'll escape from the whole forest. The forest, you don't have to escape from it, deal with every single tree in the forest, every single plant, every single animal. You just have to escape from the hunter, the ego, the I am. In the same way, we don't have to deal with every single bead which represents a problem or an issue on the necklace. We just have to cut the string. And this is the genius of Bhagavan's teaching. He's discovered a trick for liberation, which is that we don't have to deal with every single thing in life. We just have to deal with the ignorance, the I am, or the I am, the body, mind. We just have to see the truth of what I am. And that solves everything. So this is my interpretation of the verse. Sounds pretty good though, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that. I'm quite happy when I say that.
Yeah.
And then similarly, when the hunter hunting from the eye gains freedom, the forest shrinks into a home, meaning that which seemed outside and scary and troublesome is now blissful paradise, peace, love.